Aloha, e como mai. Welcome to Kupono Music Studio. My name is Marty Kluth, and today we're going to learn about scales. Now, early on in our process, we learned about a term called the octave, and that's the distance from one note to the next note of the same name, or 8 notes. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to start to expand to play all 8 of those notes. Previously, we've been just doing what we call a 5-finger hand position, which is where we have our 5 fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, on 5 consecutive notes. But today, we're going to start to expand that out to 8 notes. So let's take a look. In order to get started understanding scales, we need some terminology. So let's talk about a couple of terms. One of them is called a half step, and the other one is called a whole step, okay? So a half step is the distance from one note to the very next note with no notes at all in between. Both of our notes are just right next to each other. We can have half steps on the keyboard between the notes E and F, and also between the notes B and C. Okay, other places on the keyboard where we have half steps, you need a black note. Like that, from a black note to a white note, or a white note to a black note. So long as there's no keys in between, that is a half step, okay? Our other type of step is called a whole step. Now that's the distance from one key to an adjacent key, but with one key in between. And you can see here, we can do whole steps on the white keys in lots of places with the black key in between. But we can also do a whole step from a black key to another black key with just one white key in between. So long as there's one key in between, it doesn't matter if it's a white key or a black key. So we can do whole steps on black keys as well. We can also do whole steps in this special location here from a white key to a black key with just one white key in between. You can also see that here. So half steps are from key to key with no keys in between. Whole steps are from key to key with one key in between. Now, our major scale pattern is a combination of these whole and half steps. It goes like this. We start on C and we play a whole step, a whole step, a half step, a whole step, a whole step, a whole step, and finally a half step. That pattern is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. This pattern, starting on any key, will create a major scale on that key. Here's the C major scale. Okay, so you can see that we have a pattern of whole and half steps. Let's talk a little bit about our fingering, because now we've expanded beyond 5 notes, but we still only have 5 fingers. So with 8 notes in the scale and only 5 fingers, that means we need an extra 3 fingers somewhere. So we're going to start to learn the technique of tucking under and crossing over. Let's take a look at that. When we start on middle C, we start with our 1 finger and we walk up 2, 3. Well, now there's 3 fingers and we know we're going to need 5 more. So we're going to take that thumb and we're going to tuck under and put it on the very next note F. And then we're going to relax our hand into that position and just continue to walk all the way up to our 5 finger. Now, if I want to come back down again, I can start with that 5 finger and walk all the way back to the thumb. But now I need 3 more fingers, so I'm going to cross over with my 3 finger to the next note, then relax into that position and finish. So that fingering for the right hand going up is 1, 2, 3, tuck under, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For going down the scale, starting with 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, cross over, Now, you try it. Pause the video and attempt to try the C major scale with tucking your thumb under and crossing your 3-finger over, and restart when you're ready. Did you try it? Awesome. Let's learn this in the left hand. We're going to start with our 5-finger on our bass C, and we're going to be using the same notes as we did in the right hand, but let's talk about our fingering. Because we're starting with 5, we're going to walk all the way up to our 1-finger. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But now we still need 3 more fingers, so we're going to take that 3-finger and cross it over, then relax into that position and finish it out. And now we're at the top. Going back down, we start with the 1. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to tuck under with our thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're back down at the bottom. Okay? Let's see what happens when we put these hands together, because our crossing over and tucking under don't necessarily happen in the same place. We're going to start at the bottom and go up. We're going to walk up, and as we walk, eventually we get to both 3 fingers playing at the same time. That's one of our kind of anchor fingers to let us know something's about to happen. Let's tuck our right hand thumb underneath to the note F and keep walking up. Okay, now we're out of fingers in the left hand, so let's cross over with our 3, and now our 3 fingers get to play together again. And we finish out. Okay, now when we go back down, we just do the reverse. And we walk down till we get to the 3 fingers, then the left hand tucks under. We keep going down, and at this point, when the right hand's out of fingers, we're going to cross over and play our 3 fingers together again and finish it up. Now, once we've played them together, let's try to put our chord progression in there. That's using the C, F, and G7 chords in inversion that we learned in both hands in our previous exercise. So we put this all together. We play the scale up and down and put the chords on the end. Now you try it. Pause the video and give yourself a chance to try to put both hands together and put the chords at the end. Then restart when you're ready. Did you try it? Awesome. Let's try to move this scale to a different key. We said at the beginning that if we know the major scale pattern of whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, we can apply that pattern starting on any key and create a major scale on that key. So let's try a different key. Let's try G. So we're going to start with our right hand thumb on G, and we're going to apply our pattern. Here we go. So first thing is a whole step. That takes us to A. Next we need another whole step. That takes us to B. Next we need just a little tiny half step. So that's C. Now we need a whole step. That's D. Another whole step. That's E. Now we need another whole step. That's going to take us to this black note up here. And the last thing we need is a half step, which takes us back to G. Now let's talk about this black note. What is the name of this black note? Because we haven't really talked about black notes yet. Well, this black note is called F sharp. Okay, now a sharp is a musical symbol that looks a little bit like a hashtag or a number sign or a pound sign or a tic-tac-toe board, but before it was any of those things, it was a sharp. And the sharp means that we take the letter name of the note, and when we put the sharp next to it, we're going to play the next note that is a half step up or to the right of the main white note. So when we play this note F, when we put that little sharp next to it, we play this note. In other words, the next note above or to the right of F. So the full scale is G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. okay? We can also use the exact same fingering for this G scale as we did for the C scale. 1, 2, 3, tuck your 1, 2, 3, 4 goes on the sharp, 5 coming back down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 crossover, 3, 2, 1. In the left hand, the G chord looks, or the G scale looks like this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We cross over, 3, 2 gets to play the F sharp, and 1 on G. Going back down, tuck that 1. When we try it together, it's the same hookup as in the C scale. We play the 3 fingers at the same time, and then we're going to tuck one of the thumbs. Tucking the thumb, crossing over. Here's the sharp. Now coming back down. Tucking the thumb, crossing over. We can also try to play the same chord progression here in the key of G that we played in the key of C. The chords in the key of C were C, F, and G7. Those are built on the number 1, 4, and 5 notes of the C major scale. So we can call those the 1, 4, and 5, 7 chords. So we can play those same chords here in the key of G just by using the same fingering that we used in the key of C. Here's the main chord, G, in root position. In the left hand, put the 2 finger down and stretch the thumb. In the right hand, take both 3 and 5 up 1 note. That's the 4 chord, in this case, a C chord, coming back down. Now, I'm going to take a little pinch with my 2 finger and 1 finger in the left hand and stretch my pinky to the F sharp. In the left hand, 4 and 5 pinch together, and the 1 is on the F sharp. This is a D7 chord, the 5-7 chord in the key of G, and coming back to G. All right, now you try it. Pause the video and try working on the G major scale with both the right hand and the left hand, and hands together, and try out the chords. Come back when you're ready. Did you try it? Awesome. All right, let's try this on one more key, all right? We've been using both C and G and F, so let's try this on the key of F and see what we can create. We're going to start with our whole and half step pattern and create our scale here on the key of F. So after F, we need a whole step, and then a whole step, and then a little half step, which means we're going to be on a black note right now. Then from there, we need another whole step, and a whole step, and a whole step, and finally a half step. Okay, so here's our F major scale. Now, the F major scale also has one black note, but in this case, we're going to call that black note B flat. Let's talk about that term flat. The flat, as a symbol, looks a little bit like a squished letter B, almost like it's been flattened. That's how you can remember what it's called. So when we have that little flat next to a letter, it means that we play the note immediately to the left or below the letter. In this case, we have a B, and we put the flat next to it. We play the next key down or to the left. That is B flat, okay? Now, you might be saying, well, wait a minute. Isn't that also a name, a sharp? Didn't you just show us sharps? And that's right, I did. This is why we sometimes pause a little bit on talking about the names of the black keys, because all of the black keys have 2 names. If you go up to a black key, that is a sharp. If you head down to a black key, that is a flat. Let's take a look. Here's the letter C. If I go up to this black note, that's C sharp. But if I start on D and come down to that black note, it's called D flat. All right, let's see all of them. D sharp, and E flat, F sharp and G flat, G sharp or A flat, A sharp or B flat. We can also do that here where we have two white notes together. This is C or B sharp. This is B or C flat. Likewise right here, this is F or E sharp, and this is E or F flat. Now we don't use those ones too often, so we're not going to worry about that. But in our particular F scale that we're doing right now, we're going to be using this black note here, which is actually going to be considered a step down from the note B. So when we create our scale, it's F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, and F. Okay, now you might be wondering, well, why do we have to call it B flat? Why can't we just call it A sharp? We called the other one F sharp. That's a very good question. The reason why is because there's a rule when we're creating scales that every major scale must include all the letters of the musical alphabet in order with no skips or doubles. Okay, so if I was to start on F and go F, G, A sharp, C, well, I'd have two A's in a row there and no B's, okay? So we have to call this note B flat so that we can have all the letters in there. F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, okay? Now, you also might notice slightly different fingering in this hand. If I was to try and use the regular fingering that we used in the previous scales, 1, 2, 3, and then tuck my thumb, oh my goodness, what a huge movement that is. That's so hard. We don't want to do that, so let's not. Let's just use the forefinger on the black note instead. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then tuck the thumb over here where it's easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we never actually use the 5 finger in the F major scale in the right hand. Coming back down, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you just cross over with the forefinger, 4, 3, 2, 1, okay? Now, left hand's a little bit easier. Left hand uses the regular old white key fingering, but we use our 2 finger on the black note B flat. Cross over, and then we go back down. Tuck under, 2 on the flat. Okay, now having a slightly different fingering means we have slightly different challenges when we put the hands together, but just like in the last scale, we have a nice little anchor note where the fingers kind of come together and will help us remember how to put them together. We start at the bottom and we walk all the way up to the black note B flat. Now we're going to tuck that right hand thumb, but lo and behold, the left hand thumb is playing too, so the thumbs get to play at the same time. Then the left hand's going to cross over the 3 finger, and we just finish walking up to F. Now that we're here, we can go back down. And when it comes time to play the thumb, we're going to tuck that left hand thumb so the thumbs can play together again. Then the right hand forefinger is going to cross all the way to B flat, and we're going to walk it all the way down. Just like in the key of G, we want to try to do these 1, 4, and 5, 7 chords using the same fingering as we use in the key of C. There's our root position F chord. I'm going to put my 2 finger down and stretch the 1 in the left hand and stretch up the 3 and the 5 in the right hand. This is the 4 chord. It's a B flat chord coming back to root position F. Then I put my 2 finger down and stretch my pinky. In the right hand, I put my 4 down and stretch my thumb. This is a C7 chord, the 5-7 chord in the key of F, and coming back to F. Okay, now you try it. Pause the video and try out this F major scale in the right hand and the left hand. Try it together and try the chords, then restart when you're ready. Did you try it? Awesome. Let's kind of put all of this together. What we learned today is we learned about major scales. Major scales are a pattern of half steps and whole steps, and that pattern is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. If you can remember this pattern, you can create a major scale starting on any note. We tried it on the key of C, and we have fingering for both of our hands, right hand fingering. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going back down again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Left hand fingering starts with 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Going back down again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When we play them together, our 3 fingers hook up and then our thumbs tuck. Going back down. We also want to play the 1, 4, and 5, 7 chords using our inversion fingering. We also learned the major scale starting on the note G, which uses the same fingering, and includes F sharp as our black note, coming back down again. We also want to try those 1, 4, and 5, 7 chords here, stretching up C chord, stretching down D7. We also learned this on the key of F, which uses a slightly different fingering, and the note B flat for the black note. And back down again. We also want to play those 1, 4, and 5, 7 chords. Up to B flat. C7. All right, so I encourage you to give this a try and really spend some time learning with these scales. This is going to help you be able to play smoothly any passage of music that comes up. Knowing these techniques of tucking the thumb under and crossing the 3 finger, or in the case of the F scale, the 4 finger over the thumb, gives you access to be able to play many more notes in a row than just the 5 notes that fit under your fingers in one hand position. This is also be a really good practice for you to learn these chords in different hand positions. That gives you a larger repertoire of chords that you already know how to play that you can plug into any song. And as always, as you get better and better at it with your hands, try to push your speed faster and faster, because that will just help you play with ease and with smoothness. Let's hear what that sounds like. Let's start with C. Let's do G scale. Let's try F as well. Okay, so push yourself to do it faster and play with ease and musicality, and let your fingers start to flow. And these exercises, along with the different songs that we've learned, will help you start to enjoy music and become smoother and more adept and able to play any song that your heart desires. Mahalo for learning with us today. If you haven't already, please click subscribe and turn on the notifications so you'll be the first to know about our new videos. We invite you to like and share this video. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram, so follow us there for regular updates on what's new at Kupono Music Studio. If you'd like to continue learning with us, click join and become a member so you can access all of our videos for any ability level. YouTube and Patreon members get added benefits like lesson documentation, bonus videos, and more. And check our website for all the latest information about programs at our studio in Maui, Hawaii. All the links are in the video description. Come make music with us anytime. Aloha.